Hello everyone, I'm Mark. Welcome to Red Dutchess Farm. I don't know how well you can hear me. It's windy out here, but been going to do a video and have shot quite a bit of video, and I just have not had time to put it together. But I thought I'd show you what's going on around here today. It's the Friday before Mother's Day, and so the 8th day of May, and we're calling for definite frost tonight. The county to the north of us, the county to the west of us has got a freeze warning. So we're going to be really close to freezing. Wouldn't surprise me if we don't go ahead and freeze. We're only about three or 4 miles from the county line. So we've got lots of stuff planted in the garden, and we have spent the better part of the day trying to get ready and get things covered up. And covering things up with all this wind, and of course it rained all morning, and then we've had sunshine all afternoon. It's a little hard to cover things completely up when the sun's shining. So let me flip this camera around and I'll kind of show you what's going on out here. We're building a raised bed garden, and I've got some other video on this I might throw in with this. Some of the walkways down at the end there, you can see we put newspaper and straw in because we could not get compost, but the compost facility is open again. So there's a trailer load of compost, and we spread one trailer load yesterday, so this straw is going to be a thing of the past. But swing you on around here. This is a row of eggplant and peppers. This row is yellow squash. The row here is zucchini. These are 50-foot raised beds. And then we've got a bed of early Jersey Wakefield, a bed of stonehead, both cabbages, and the first bed there is broccoli. I'm not too worried about it tonight. And as we walk on up through here, I've got 2-inch pipe laid down between these rows of there's some mustard. This bed here is mostly, the bed on the left is mostly spinach, mustard, and collards. This bed's a couple different kinds of lettuces, the middle bed, and same thing with this outside bed. And we're just going to drag weed mat over them to give them a little frost protection. Of course, the weed mat's blown up against the fence there. And on the fence is, on the other side of the fence is cucumbers, and they're covered up the same way the squash is covered up. Then we come around here to the raised beds. Some of the more mature lettuces we're just going to put cloths over or something. Hopefully this wind lays down, but on the other hand, hopefully it doesn't, because if it doesn't, then we're not going to get frost. These two beds under the blue tarp are peppers. And then we've got onions and beets, turnips and radishes. I may cover the radishes simply because our CSA starts next week and I don't want to lose them. Then we've got a bed here that's, I don't know if you can see, is some decent tomatoes. And then these next two beds are little tomatoes. That hooped bed there is peppers. And as I say, we're going to cover this lettuce just to be on the safe side. So this is what's going on with the CSA garden. We've got 24 raised beds built. And I think they look really nice once we get the compost down through them. So this is what's happening on Friday, May the 8th, 2020. Getting ready for a frost and a possible freeze. We've been down here in the southern tip of Illinois for over 10 years. And the latest I know of this harsh of a frost freeze warning was 2012, the drought year. It was absolutely gorgeous in March, up in the 80s some days, and the 20th of April we had a freeze. A friend of mine that's got a winery about 4 miles away had grapes with 8 to 12 inches of new growth, and it just burned it all off. So that's what we're doing. Now back in our very back garden, back by that big tree, just this side of the big tree, I've got 4 rows of sweet corn that's 5 weeks old. I've got 6 rows of sweet corn that's 3 weeks old. And I've got 4 rows of green beans that are I think they're 3 weeks old, all up. And so we've got big sheets of plastic. We're going to try to cover those. Also got 13 rows of potatoes, but we don't have enough stuff to cover everything, so we're doing what we can. So just a real quick farm update. I will do more later, kind of bring you up to speed. The greenhouse season, I've never seen anything like it. Been in the greenhouse business close to 30 years, and we actually have been sold out for like 2 weeks, and this is just Mother's Day week now. We even planted tomatoes 17th of April, 21st of April. I've never planted tomato seed that late, and raised an extra 100 and some trays of tomatoes, and we're done. We are sold out, complete sellout. You always have 5% or maybe a little more than that left over when the greenhouse season's over. And we literally had to put back the things we wanted to plant here and make sure we had things to plant, where in a normal year we just kind of plant leftovers that we don't sell. So it's a good problem to have. Very, very unique year, to say the least. It's a little bit before dark, and we've got things put to bed, literally. Got tons of bed sheets. Got as much stuff covered up as we can cover up. Last forecast I looked for said 32 degrees at 6 o'clock in the morning. So hopefully, we just covered mostly lettuces and things like that, radishes and stuff, with the sheets, because the cold's not going to hurt them so much as I didn't really want the frost on them. And then we're back to where we got the tomatoes and the peppers and things like that covered up. Same thing with the baby lettuces here. I'm not that worried about the temperature getting them. I just want to kind of keep some of the frost off of them. Now you can see the cucumbers lined up over there along that fence. So we got everything put to bed. It's almost 8 o'clock. Come back out here in a couple hours because it's still got some wind blowing, and make sure things stay covered up, and hopefully we make it through the night all right. It's the next morning, May 9th, Saturday, and I've already been out, done a little looking around, opened the ends of some things up, and it looks like we survived the frost without any major issues at this point. 35 was the coldest that I saw that it got, so didn't have to deal with a freeze. So now the job of uncovering all this stuff and putting this all away. There's two tractor bucket loads of cinder blocks we brought out, a bunch of 2x4s, 2 bucket loads of rocks. So got a pretty big job of getting everything picked up after this. But just wanted to bring you up to date that it looks like we survived this extremely late cold event without any major issues. Y'all have a great day. Thanks for watching.